everyone, and welcome to our 200,000 subscriber black tie live stream. Wow, what a milestone, what a journey, and I couldn't be more excited to be sharing this evening with all of you. Thank you to everyone that's joining us. Of course, I've got the live stream pulled up right here on my laptop. You can't see it, it's just a bit out of view. We've got 150 people joining us. It has been too long since we have done one of these. I know you guys have all told me. I've got a lot of messages on Instagram letting me know that we needed to do more of these. And I have to absolutely admit that we did take a little bit of a break, but we are back better than ever. And today we are broadcasting from our brand new YouTube studio, purpose-built just for you all. This is going to take us to that 1 million subscriber mark. It is fully sound insulated, state-of-the-art smoke insulation or smoke filtration, and this is our new home. I couldn't be any more excited about this. One of the ways that I enjoy starting off all these live streams, of course, is just checking in with all of you. I mean, it's just been too long. We've been through so much this last year, and so if you wouldn't mind letting me know kind of where everyone is joining in from in the comments, I always enjoy seeing that. Of course, we've got Kevin Lamel, a fellow Dallasite, and we've got Mohammed joining us. Let me know where you're joining from. That's always fun to see. We've got Elizus joining us also. He's commenting on the jacket. This is something I'll talk about here in a moment, something just for this. Drew would love to see more about Alan Flesser. Thank you. We've got Marcus from Finland. Thank you for staying up so late. We've got David from Harrisburg. We've got Jose Soto. We've got Mark, Kevin. Wow, this is just going so fast I can hardly keep up. We've got Colorado, Eugene. I'm going to be there this weekend in Telluride. If anyone's in Telluride this next week, hit me up. We've got Jonathan from Gainesville, Florida. We've got Peter from Ireland. Again, thanks for joining us. It's quite late in that area of the world. We've got Mohammed also from, where was that? It's Qatar. We've got someone from Toronto, Robert from San Francisco, affiliate signal from England. We've got Kabir from Canada. We've got some India, California, Switzerland. We've got Dominique from Korea. I might be there late August, early September. We'll see. We've got a Tran from BC. So we've got the entire crew here. And boy, do we have a night in store for all of you to, again, celebrate this 200,000 subscriber hallmark or milestone. I mean, I have to tell you, it took us a long time to get here, but it sure does feel good now that we are. Now, as you all know, I started this channel, gosh, I can't remember, 4 years ago, really as a platform to just continue our education of how to shine shoes. That's how we started out, shining shoes, doing garment care tutorials. But boy, has it evolved. It's actually evolved to probably be my favorite part about the business because now we are able to travel the world, at least not so much the last year, but exploring the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. We've had some great videos with the likes of Huntsman, John Lobb, Dominic Casey, Will Whiting, Daniel Wiegand. I mean, some of the best bespoke artisans in the world we've been able to bring onto this channel and to share that with all of you and to share that passion. And I know for certain that that is one thing we all share in common, is that passion for quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. So that's pretty exciting. Let's see, we've got Val from Orlando Park, Illinois. And so, anyway, let's see. Yep, we've got someone from Syria joining us. So we've got Jacob from Manhattan. We've got someone from Amish country. So there we go. So let's see. So those of you that have been following this channel know that I enjoy a nice cigar. That is clear as day. And this set is built specifically with that in mind. We have what I think is probably the most cutting-edge air filtration system in the United States. It costs an arm and a leg. I probably splurged and overspent a little, but that's okay because we're going to use it. And the purpose of this, so I told myself, is to allow me to enjoy a cigar in your company while we're filming without hotboxing all my video editors, because that wouldn't be fair. And so on this occasion, not only do we get to inaugurate this new studio, but we get to inaugurate this air filtration system, and I get to do so with a Holy Grail cigar. So I'm going to light this up because I don't think I can wait any longer than I already have to smoke this. This, without question, is my Grail cigar. And so now that I'm smoking it, I guess I'm going to have to come up with another one. But this is something that I honestly never thought I would have the opportunity to smoke, because this is a 2009 limited edition cigar. You can't find them anymore. Either you have a box or you don't. And a good friend of the channel, a fellow subscriber, fellow viewer, hopefully he's watching right now, saw me talking about that and sent this to me as a gift, which again speaks to just how special all of you are. I mean, really, you know, it's like we're old friends, even though a lot of us have never met. But this is a 2009 Edmundo Dante 109. It's a Longsdale. It's like a Lusitania. It's quite a long cigar. It's essentially a double Corona. It is a 48 ring gauge with a tapered head that is very special. It's been a little bit mishandled. We got a little bit right here, but that's okay. You would expect something like this on a cigar that's got some age. And this, I remember Maximilian Guzman, you know, the guy who is basically the exclusive distributor for Habanos in Mexico. He started La Casa del Habano, so he clearly has a good relationship with Cuba. And this is what he chose for his first regional release. And many cigar aficionados that have had the distinct honor and pleasure of smoking one of these have said that this is one of the greatest cigars ever made. So here we are. We are going to enjoy this on this channel right now. So I've got my accoutrement. I've got a nice glass of whiskey. This is some bourbon, Kentucky bourbon. This is Blanton's. This was also a gift from another subscriber. So kind of honoring all of the people on this channel that have certainly contributed. And then I've got my Wellington ashtray right here, my vintage Dunhill lighter that I bought off eBay, many of you have asked. And then I've got one of my favorite items right here, which is the El Casco cigar cutter, available on KirbyAllison.com. We just got a shipment of these, and I'm gonna cut this baby. I'm a little nervous. So let's see. There we go. That's what I love about this cutter, is there is never anything other than a perfect cut. So we're going to put this away right here. And that's why we sell those. And we're going to light this baby up. So I wish Eddie Sahakian was with me. Of course, Edward and Eddie. I think that there is no one that lights a better cigar than those two. You know, on a cigar like this, why rush the process? I like to blow on the foot a little bit just to make sure it's fully lit. And there we go. Edmundo Dante 109. It's already starting off incredibly smooth. Again, what a privilege. To my dear friend Chris that sent this to me. Soon we will enjoy a cigar and one's company. I, of course, invite you here into this studio to smoke with me. And here we go. Let's see. Delkin is wearing a emerald green grenadine. Hopefully it's one of our sovereign grade grenadines. But let me just savor and enjoy this for a moment, because I have to say, I mean, this YouTube studio has probably consumed more of my energy over these last 4 years than any other, than probably nothing, you know, second only to my children. And it's been a real pleasure. I can't tell you, I never expected that I would enjoy it as much as I have. I mean, being able to share the stories of such passionate craftsmen with all of you, to be able to film tutorials that have made such a large impact on the lives of so many of the subscribers, and then to be able to just interact with all of you through these live streams, through the comments in the videos. And there we go. Yeah, Jan, you're not kidding. I mean, this air filtration system can move 2,000 CFM, 2,000 cubic feet a minute. And it can basically, that's the old one right there. That's not up yet, so we'll pull that up in a minute. So let's let me smoke this. We'll talk a little bit about the air filtration system. Farhan is asking about what shoes am I wearing. I'm wearing my what are these? These are my patent leather opera pumps. These are Grinsons. I bought these in high school. I bought them basically off of a closeout website, and these have been my only black tie shoes really in my adult life. So one of these days I'll have a proper pair of calfskin opera pumps made from the likes of John Lobb or someone like that, where I can shine them up to a nice high shine in order to get that. The dinner jacket I'm wearing today was made by Davidge.com, of course, Davidge Himmerjani, the Himmerjani brothers, and it's a beautiful emerald green. And you know, again, we thought it would be only appropriate to really debut this jacket as part of celebrating 200,000 subscribers. Yeah, first smoking jacket. And then another question about the socks is these, of course, are sovereign grade socks, 100% silk, and slightly sheer. That's how a proper silk sock should be. And these, of course, are available also on KirbyAllison.com. We're running a little bit of promotion to celebrate the live stream tonight. We've got free shipping on all orders with any 2 pairs of shoelaces. So load your cart up with 2 pairs of our Wellington shoelaces and get free shipping on the entire lot. Just shoelaces, whatever. You guys, of course, are asking about the watch, and in keeping with tradition, since this is technically a black tie live stream, and the time is of no importance to us right now, I have taken my timepiece off to ensure that I enjoy this without any distraction. So, wow, this is smooth. This really is great. So let's see. Love the humidor tour and picking cigars for travel. Thank you, Barrett. How do you actually pack the cigars, though? Once in the Boveda bag, what do you do with that? I just throw it in my luggage or carry it in my briefcase. It's as simple as that. The Boveda bags really are such a huge innovation and kind of breakthrough. So let's get into it. So first off, let's talk about the air filtration device. We're going a little bit out of order, but why not? So we're going to pull up some photographs previously. So this is the old air filtration we had in our old office. It was an Everclear smoke eater. You know, it basically goes in a ceiling grid. And it was nice. You know, it was about $2,000, not inexpensive. It could really move some air, I think 500 CFM. But this thing was so loud you could barely have a conversation in the room with that thing on. So instead, we went and designed something with CamFill. This is a CamFill cam cleaner. Those are 12 carbon, no, I think it's 14 carbon canisters that go in this thing. It's got a MER 14 air filtration bag on the right. This thing is the size of a bus. It really is, 16, it's a 4x4 grid, so 16 of those carbon canisters, each are probably 18 inches long. There I am wearing a nice workout gear. But not only is this thing top of the line, 2,000 CFM, but also we ducted it into the room with the largest ductwork we could get in order to slow down the air velocity and allow us to essentially put the air into this room as quietly as possible. So we've got fresh air grills in each of the 4 corners, and then we've got 2 return air grills in the center of the room. So the idea is that as I smoke, it pulls the air to the center of the room, takes it back to that cam clean, scrubs it. I mean, it's so quiet right now you can barely hear it. You can really see the smoke moving. I don't know if you can get that on camera, so I know it's working. But it's so quiet, I honestly cannot even hear it, and it's a little eerie. It also almost makes me think that it's not working. So we are going to we're going to film a video. We're going to put this thing to the stress test. I'm going to invite some friends. We're going to basically hotbox this room with the thing off and then turn it on to see how quickly we can clear the smoke. I think that's going to be a little fun as a little bit of an experiment. And there we go, but that hasn't happened yet. Next, one of the things I just wanted to share, of course, is that we're in our new office. So one of the things that you all probably know, having followed along with us throughout the summer, is that we had the opportunity to buy our own office. Huge milestone as a business owner to be able to actually buy a building, because it basically is buying our certainty, our future, our safety. Never again will we have to deal with a hostile landlord, and that it basically puts the gun to your head and says either pay more rent or move. Anyone that's run a business knows how disruptive moving is, especially a business like ours where we have so much inventory that's hard to move. May I never go through that again. It was such a just stressful and, I don't know, stressful experience, exhausting. And I can say that I grossly underestimated the amount of effort involved in moving. We put together a little bit of a short that we're going to show you right now. We're going to throw that on screen, and I'll kind of talk through it. It's going to come up in a second. So there we go. This is, of course, a little bit of a recap of kind of what the last 5 years have been. That's our old studio, of course. And here we are. We moved Solutions here in Dallas. That's our old office. That's the place empty. That's the disaster that was whenever we first moved in. And so whenever we moved in, our office wasn't even completely built out. And so we're still finishing it out right now. And so it's basically like moving into a house while having to live through the garage. And that's what the last few months have been like. This is a little teaser for one of the videos that we are going to put up in a little bit. That's the studio really coming together. We were able to kind of get everything in, which was nice. And this is one of the things I enjoy most, smoking a cigar in here. That's our old office area right there. And I don't know if we're going to see the new one. That's us moving out. I don't know, this is just kind of coming as it goes. So there we go. So walking through there. Anyway, so that's kind of a little bit about the move. We should have a few more pictures in there about the new office. You know, it really went off according to plan without any hitches, except for one pretty significant hitch that I really didn't anticipate, and that was moving this armoire into the office. We got it into the hallway, and it's pretty large. It's a single piece of furniture, and we realized that it was too large to get in, so we had to cut a hole in the wall across the way in order to move that in. So that was completely unexpected. There we are, you know, kind of levitating that thing in. We had to hire some guys to come back to help us move it in. The thing was so heavy, and finally get it in here. So we had to take the door off. We had to cut a hole in the wall. And so there it is. So hopefully we aren't having to take that out of the YouTube set anytime soon. But that was kind of the only really big hiccup. Well, that and having to completely rewire the electrical for the entire office because it hadn't been updated since like the 1940s and wasn't grounded. That was a little bit of a surprise also. So there we are. You think the office walls need more color, David? Yeah, David, you have to let me know where. We've got a nice kind of canary yellow back there. I think it works well with the burgundy drapes and everything. So there we are. Let me know what you think. Holy Grail cigar, new smoking jacket, new office. I have to say we're doing pretty well right here. So, you know, I'd love to take your comments. You know, there's not a new humidor yet, but I need one. We actually do have a new humidor. We just haven't powered it up yet. Favorite non-Cuban cigar? That's a tough question. I think the Flor de las Antillas does some really nice stuff. I've got some aged stuff there. Davidoff is probably my go-to, of course. And then, you know, what else? Probably Davidoff is what I smoke more often than not if it's not a Cuban. Maybe a Padron. I'm not a big fan of the box cut stuff, and I really don't have as much exposure to the non-Cuban cigars as I should outside of just Davidoff. Yep, we've got the main room with all the computers. Yeah, well, the walls are white right now. Who knows? We might change those later. Tonight's fragrance, again, is one of my special occasion fragrances. That is the Floris Mahan Leather. Unfortunately, you can't get this anymore, but there we go. It's what I'm wearing, and I've got just about half a bottle left, and that's what I'm keeping. So let's see. What else? What else, gentlemen? Now, here we are. I've got more stuff we're going to talk through tonight, but again, this live stream is really an opportunity for us to all to celebrate together. This channel wouldn't be possible without all of you. Of course, your support for this channel by watching, by subscribing, but also going on to kirbyallison.com and buying products from us. That's how we finance this channel. We don't have a Patreon. We don't have any sponsors really, and so the only support that we really get is just you all buying your shoe polish from us, buying ties, pocket squares, and other accoutrement for the well-dressed. So we appreciate all that. One of the promotions that we're launching right now, of course, are shoelaces, free shipping with any pair of 2 shoelaces. And you know, I normally smoke my cigars too quickly, except whenever I'm talking because I'm on a live stream. I need someone talking back to me and allow me to take some break. But you know, shoelaces is one of those things that I have become obsessed about, and so I can honestly say now that we've got the widest collection of dress shoelaces available for anywhere in the world. We just added 2 new colors, so we've got black, dark brown, medium brown, and light brown. It's a little out of order right there, so disregard that. We're fixing that photograph. But we also have them available in 4 lengths. It's 60 centimeters for 2 eyelet, like derbies. We've got 75, 80, and 85 centimeter lengths for your standard 5 and 6 eyelet dress shoes. So if you wear a size 9 and just have a standard, you know, 5 eyelet shoe, you use a 75. But if you're like a size 12, you need something longer, we've got the 85s for you. And then of course we've got 120 centimeter lengths for boots and the like. So check out our shoelaces. We've got all those. Unfortunately, Eliza's, the free shipping does not apply internationally, just because we would be put out of business. We do plan to be in London. I was supposed to be there last week. Boris wouldn't let me in because of the lockdowns. If the trunk show does go forth in October, without question, we will be there. I think that we will be in London regardless come October. I mean, I was supposed to be there last week. The rest of the month and the beginning of September is too busy. So it's looking like it's going to be sometime in October, most likely. Michael Best questions, which florist fragrance would you recommend that's extremely versatile all seasons and occasions with good longevity? So for longevity, you want any of the eau de parfums, right? They are going to be of a higher concentration than the eau de toilettes, right? So that's going to give that longevity to the fragrance. And then I'd say like the JF is one of my favorite. Gosh, what, you know, I'd pull this up on the website right now and take a look, and I could tell you, I mean, all of the fragrances on the website are my favorites, right? That's why we are carrying them. The soaps, you should take a look at those. We have those also. We also have samples. The Special 127, you know, is a great fragrance. The number 89 was Ian Fleming's fragrance. Of course, he wrote James Bond. The German Street, that's an eau de parfum, $195, a little bit more expensive, but you get more concentration. Another fragrance, of course, we carry the Turnbull and Asser eau de parfum. Again, that's another one. The JF is a favorite. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the honest truth about all of those is that it's really just hard to go wrong. They're all exceptional. That's why we really only carry Florist. It's a German Street heritage brand. Their fragrances are all exceptional, and you really would be hard-pressed to do anything wrong there. Thank you for the compliment about the jacket. Of course, this is from Davidge.com, formerly My Tailor. Davidge kind of broke out on his own from his father to kind of do his own thing, so that's really quite exciting. Yeah, we've got some B-roll of the jacket right here. Let's throw this up. So this is a proper smoking jacket, traditionally made in velvet and one of the gem colors, so it would be emerald green, kind of ruby red, or sapphire blue. Traditionally made with a shawl collar. This one is got matching facings in emerald green satin, but you could do it in black also if you wanted a little bit more contrast. The frogging is that embroidery on the sleeves and across the front of the jacket. It's double-breasted as traditionally they are. And then I had this cut, you know, a little bit trimmer than what you might normally find out of a smoking jacket, just because I like the feel of that. And of course, that's kind of Davidge's hallmark, as they do more of a bespoke level garment these days. You could throw it over whatever you're wearing, or if you really want to look smart, you can wear it with a black tie. And this is, to be completely honest, a garment that you could get away with wearing this to a black tie event if you really wanted to kind of stand out from the crowd a little bit. So it's a nice alternative to just a straight dinner jacket, and it allows you to kind of spice up your wardrobe a little bit. There we go, him or Johnny Brothers or davidge.com. And, you know, Sean, the benefit of the smoking jacket, I mean, made from Holland and Sherry cloth right there. You know, part of me wants to see how long I can get this going without ashing it. So I don't know. We might end up with some smoke ash all over me, but that's okay. But the benefit of the smoking jacket is it just helps buffer the amount of smoke that's being absorbed by your clothing. Now, a lot of people ask the question, is like, how do I not smell like smoke after smoking? I mean, isn't it impossible to get the odor out of your clothing? And, you know, the reality is that if you're wearing something that's 100% natural fiber, especially animal fibers, it naturally releases those odors quite easily. You know, I'll hang a jacket up overnight, and by the next morning, it's not going to smell like smoke anymore. I mean, you need a little bit of air circulation there, so maybe you don't hang it up in your closet. I keep an air filter in my closet to help facilitate that air circulation, but it's really never had a problem, or never been a problem. I've never had a situation where I put a jacket on the next day or the next few days and had someone, you know, think that I had just smoked a cigar or something. The other thing is that cigar smoke really, I feel like, is less offensive than cigarette smoke. It's certainly not as unhealthy because you're not inhaling it. And so I find that it releases a little bit easier or more easily than your traditional cigarette smoke. So there we go. See if I can get my Eddie Sahakian cigar rings. Let's see. Congratulations. Thank you, Jonathan. Do you plan to restart your UK operation someday? You know, maybe someday we plan to reopen up a UK warehouse, but you know, with everything that was going on, we just felt that it was best to close that down so that we could really double down and refocus on the American market right here. It just was so much to operate that on a totally different continent, not being able to visit it quite often, or as often enough. So, you know, we closed that down. Unfortunately, that means it's a little bit more difficult to get our wares from the United Kingdom, but unfortunately it's just the reality of the moment. Can I explain sock links on your website? So another thing that changed my life was discovering proper socks. We just launched 100% linen socks for the summertime. Of course, over the calf. You'd think, oh, why would I want to wear an over the calf sock in the summertime? The reality is a properly knit sock is cooler than any other type of sock you can wear, and you don't have to constantly mess with it because it's falling down your leg. All of our socks are available in 5 sizes, which guarantees that you can get that perfect fit. And we have a sizing guide. You know, if you scroll down a little bit right there, you can see the sizing guide right there. And basically, it just corresponds to your shoe size. And really, you want no bunching on the foot of the sock because that creates wrinkles and is uncomfortable. But you want the sock also to be large enough that that it extends all the way up and over the calf, because that ensures that it's not going to slide down, which is the whole purpose of over the calf socks. So if you ever buy a sock and you know, it's the right size per the sizing guide, which is just a guide, it's not like the rule, and you find that it doesn't extend all the way over the calf, just simply size up to the next size. I mean, socks are knit, they stretch, they shrink a little bit, and so after a few washings and everything, we have an entire guide on how to wash or launder socks properly. You'll find that your socks fit perfectly, and that really is the whole point, is they should fit like a glove, they should be knit thin, and you should all but forget that you're wearing them. And over-the-calf socks are more elegant, they're knit thinner than your standard socks, and that is a true luxury item. And if you launder them properly, you can really wear them for years. I've got socks that are probably pushing, you know, 5+ years, if not even longer than that. Let's add some more likes to the live stream. I like that, Highland Park 2007. Thank you. Nope, I don't have holy socks. I've got sovereign grade socks. Let's see, what's been the, so what's my opinion of leather oud from Flores? I'm not a big fan of oud. It's a particular musty kind of fragrance. Personally, I'm just not a fan, but if you are, wear it. Now let's see, what's been the most difficult part of getting here? So let's see, I don't know, what do we think the most difficult part? I mean, I think one of the most difficult things has been assembling a good team. And we've got an absolutely fantastic team here at Kirby Allison. We've got 3 full-time videographers, 2 based here in the United States, 1 based in Ireland, that do all of our filming and editing in-house, and that's a big deal. It took us a long time to get to that point, to be able to hire all that in-house on staff, but I hope that you can see that reflected in the quality of our videos. Again, I'm a huge stickler for quality. I want the best, and I think that that extends to really almost everywhere in my life. Not in a rigid, pretentious way, but just in a really passion about quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. And so hopefully you see that in the quality of our videos. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm sure that I'm not the only YouTube channel that you guys watch, and when you think of Kirby Allison relative to some of the other channels out there on the internet, what do you think? I'd love to have your feedback. That's your cue to let me know in the comments. This is really smoking beautifully. Let's see, we've got 200 people watching right now. It's a nice crowd. Again, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for getting us to this point. So let's see, just looking at the comments right here. I must have froze or something. Professional, good production value. Hopefully there's sufficient demand. I think we should be at 500,000 subscribers. Here to that. If you're watching right now and you have not subscribed to this channel, please by all means do me the honor. Find that subscribe button. It's red. It's somewhere on your screen, and make sure you subscribe. But we try to focus on the quality. You watch for the cigars, but we've got high quality other stuff. Thank you. Takes a long time to become an overnight success. That's right. Safari jackets. I've got a few safari jackets. I've got some overshirts. It's a great way to kind of casual. Do I have a white tie rig? I don't own tails, but I own everything else. And so my thinking is that, I very rarely do white tie here in the United States. And so I've got, the custom shirt that I bought from Bud. I've got the collar, the starched collars. I've got the shoes, the trousers, everything else. It's just a matter of renting the tails. Maybe one of these days, once we start spending more time in London, we actually are there maybe full-time one day. We'll go to some more white tie stuff. So cowboy boots are on their way. We'll see. I mean, COVID has just slowed everything down. Unfortunately, Lee's been a little bit sick and kind of running behind. And I think he's been waiting for Dominic Casey to be able to make it over here to kind of finish the boots. So we'll see what happens. Do I own any sneakers? Not really. I own some running shoes, but not much else. So I don't have a smoking hat, but I do need to purchase one from Lock & Co. It's right across from my club in London. I've been meaning to go over there and get one. But inevitably, whenever we're in London, we've just always been too busy to really do much of anything else. It's really been kind of a problem. So how about a little bit of a YouTube retrospective, if you will. I'd love to know what all of your favorite videos have been over the years, but we've hit some really incredible milestones with our videos in and of themselves. I'm going to just go through a few of them. Our how to smoke a cigar, or how to cut a cigar video with Eddie Sahakian has hit 10 million views, if you can believe. That's a short video. We filmed that in London. 10 million views. I mean, can you believe something like 25 million impressions? Next up is our how to tie the Berluti knot video. This is another short, 1.8 million views. Again, if you don't know how to tie the Berluti knot, or if you haven't seen this video, I'd highly recommend it. It basically shows you how to tie what I think is the most elegant knot ever. And you can use it on more than just your dress shoes. You can use it on your tennis shoes or running shoes. It is a double knot that lies flat and easily pulls loose, just with the pull of the ends of the laces. This has got 1.8 million views and really is amazing right there. So there you go. Look at that. It's going to pull flat. We just barely missed it. Oh well. You'll have to watch the video for that. Up, it's back. Look how that ties right there. It's like forms a figure 8. It's perfectly symmetric. It lies flat. I mean, this is a trick if there ever was one. Let's see. Next is how to smoke a cigar with the Sahakians. So let's see if we can pull that up. Smoking a cigar right now. Maybe we don't have that, but that's 1.8 million views. Next up is our Texas Traditions video with Lee Miller. This is 1.1 million views. And that is another absolutely incredible video where we basically interview Lee Miller, who's widely considered to be the best bespoke boot maker in the world. This, of course, has been several years in the making, and I'm hoping that my boots are going to be finished here soon. I'm certainly waiting for them patiently, but to be honest, I'm so honored that he's even making a pair for me. I'd be happy to wait even longer if we had to. Dominic Casey videos are great. Again, those are amongst my favorite. And then, of course, we have our two, I guess, what would you call them? Our 2019 Hallmark videos, which are our John Lobb feature. Let's pull that up. Let's hit that over. There you go. Now, if you haven't watched this, it's an hour of just pure indulgence, of actually being invited back into the inner sanctum of John Lobb with the Lobb brothers. We meet with 3 of the 4 Lobb brothers there, and they basically show us the entire place. They walk us through. They invite us in. Actually, it's 3 Lobb brothers, not 4, but 2 of the 3 Lobb brothers. And that was an absolutely amazing video, and I think it was one of my biggest accomplishments and milestones. We almost missed the striking of the anvil. Let's see. Here it is. Or there it is, Lobb. We actually have a trailer of that video. Actually, the trailer of the video itself, I mean, if you just have time to watch that, it's amazing. Should I ash this or not? You guys let me know. And then, of course, Huntsman, New York. Another absolutely milestone video where we were able to go inside the new bespoke cutting room that Huntsman opened up in New York City in 2019. And this, I mean, talk about just, I don't know what you would call it, but a great decision on their part, because with COVID and international travel being closed down, none of the British-based bespoke tailors have been able to travel to America, and so basically Huntsman has eaten up all that business. It's really a shame. We hope that they get back here soon, the rest of everyone, because we know that their businesses are struggling. If any of you are in the market for bespoke clothing, I'd say reach out to Poole, reach out to Anderson and Shepherd, reach out to Joe Morgan. I think right now more than any other time in history, they've needed the support of their bespoke clients to really kind of push through this. Oh, there it goes. Dang it. Well, I tried to see how far I could get it, but there it goes. Playing the ash game is always risky. But, there you go. So I'm going to light this up a little bit. I'm not smoking as fast. It's really burning quite well. Absolutely exceptional. So I have to say I really feel at home. Thank you, Mitch Bespoke, for joining. Of course, anybody that needs help on smoking, Mitch is at Bespoke is really the authority there. Alec, this jacket is from Dividge.com. They made this for me. This is something that is new and that I'm celebrating right now. I'm really excited to have added this to my wardrobe right there. The Dunhill lighter does run on butane, and you know, this is just a standard flame, but I found this on eBay for a few $100s because I needed a proper table lighter. During all those live streams at the beginning of 2020, I really didn't want to use matches. I was just using a standard Bic lighter, which really was kind of offensive, if you will. And so finally I said, you know what, I need a good lighter. I need a good pocket lighter. I'm kind of on the lookout for one of those, maybe one from SD DuPont, and we'll see kind of what happens there. So let's see. I don't have a Borsalino hat, but that is on my list. I tried to do smoke rings, but again, the smoke filter is taking that air up and out of this room so quickly that I can't even get that to happen. How many cigars do you smoke in a week? I don't know. On average, maybe, and this is an average, 2 to 3, but that's really an exception more than a rule. Loafers for a double-breasted suit, I would generally say no. Double-breasted is more formal. I would traditionally wear an Oxford, some type of lace-up. So there we go. Lotus dual flame, yeah, that's really kind of what I'm looking for. It has both the torch and a regular flame. Those are great, great lighters. I mean, I prefer a regular flame, but there are just some moments, it's windy, you're on the beach, that you just need a torch. And so that is otherwise very frustrating. Safety razor videos, some of our favorites. Does Dallas have social clubs for men like New Orleans does? So, you know, New Orleans has the, what is it called? It is, what is the name of the club in New York? It is escaping me right now. Yeah. What is the name, Edmund? Can anyone beat me to this of the club in New Orleans? I'm going to look this up, and we'll see if who wins here. Boston Club in New Orleans. There we go. Yep, Scott, you got it. So I've got a friend, 2 friends that are members of the Boston Club. It's a beautiful place. It is, I think, the 2nd oldest club in America. It's unique in that, for several reasons. One, they don't have reciprocity with any clubs. They've got a loose reciprocity agreement with the Union Club in New York, which I think is the oldest gentleman's club in America. They don't have rooms, and it is really strictly an in-town club, a local club. And they've got, I think, a really interesting rule that I've only heard of it from there, which is that in-town guests are not allowed. So if you live in New Orleans, you are either a member of the Boston Club or you're not. Now, if you're an out-of-town guest, you can go in for lunch, you know, with a member. But if you're in New Orleans, you can make it in there. So let's say it is a pretty exclusive club. Lunch at the East India whenever I'm in London, I'd love that. I've actually stayed at the East India Club before, which is a beautiful place. Right on St. James's Square. What does my wife say about all my clothes and shoes? She gives me a really hard time sometimes, but otherwise she's pretty understanding. You know, it's kind of my business to be in, and so there we go. So let's see. I mean, I'm really interested to know what all of you have enjoyed the most about this YouTube channel, and looking forward to the next several years, you know, as we begin to be able to travel again. What type of content would you like to see us film? I'm very interested. If any of you know any agents, I'd love to speak to someone about pitching a series to kind of take this a little bit more global, to give us a little bit more of a budget to travel to places like Italy and Japan. But I'd love to do an Anthony Bourdain-esque show, a travel series exploring the world of quality craftsmanship and tradition. You know, if someone paid me to film videos, let me tell you, I could do this day and night. There are so many places I'd love to go visit. I'd love to see Birdie, Purdy and Sons in London, their outfit. I'd love to do an entire series on shooting in London and stocking, the proper shooting accoutrement, the kit that you would wear. You know, I'd love to do more work in France. We haven't done nearly as much as we should in Paris. Another pinnacle moment right up there with filming at John Lobb would be filming with Charvet. We'd love to do work with Comps de Luca, you know, Cifanelli. We'd love to do more with, say, John Lobb in Paris. We'd love to do more with John Lobb in London. And then Italy. I mean, we haven't even begun to scratch the surface on the Italian tailors. I mean, we could spend an entire year filming in Italy, much like Hugo Giacome, which I think really kind of the Parisian gentleman. Let's see, Naples, yep. Abrecy, I would love to do that. You know, an online him or Johnny suit would be a great gift for your son, Mary. They actually are pretty good at fitting remotely. If anything COVID's done is helped them hone in on that. So even if he's not able to meet them, they could get him something, I promise you, a lot better than what you would otherwise find just walking into a store. I'm drinking some Blanton's right now. A series with Hugo would be great. We've done a live stream with Hugo, but we've never actually filmed with him in person, and we'd love to go film with he and Sonia at their place in Burgundy. I'm sure they'd be happy to have us. I think they've already invited me. But again, we just haven't been traveling much lately. Rubinacci, we'd love to do more with Rubinacci. Shoe factories in Italy. I mean, speaking of shoe factories, have you seen our Gaziano and Girling piece? That's pretty amazing. And speaking of Gaziano and Girling shoes, Tyra, I don't know if you can grab the handmade one right there. You know which one I'm talking about? The red one? To the right, yeah. So, we filmed a video on this shoe right here. It's really quite special. This is on loan to us from Gaziano and Girling. We do a lot of shoe reviews here. I think it's important to note that we're not paid for those. We don't even get to keep the shoes, right? So they send us the samples, we send them back. We only do positive reviews, so people are like, well, you're not critical enough. Well, if we haven't filmed a review on the shoe, that's probably because we would otherwise be critical. I don't think it's my place to be negative on other people's work. I certainly don't get moral about it. But I have to say, this is part of Gaziano and Girling's new Optimum series. And this is a totally handmade shoe, but made on a ready-to-wear last, right? And so, if you haven't seen our video on this shoe, it's really something worth checking out, because the difference in quality that they're able to pound into this shoe just by virtue of having it made by hand is really quite dramatic. And in that video, we essentially compare this same model made in the factory of Gaziano and Girling, which, let's be honest, is exceptional at making some of the best ready-to-wear Goodyear welted factory-made shoes in the world, to this right here, same last, but made by hand. And it's really quite remarkable. Open to a Patreon to fund it. You know, we've really been kind of throwing that out there. There's a reason it has become so popular. I completely agree. And I have to say, if we'd launched a Patreon, it would be for the exclusive purpose of just merely helping fund the travel. I mean, for us to do videos like we want to, we really travel as a crew of three, me, a producer, kind of partner of mine, and then a videographer, and all of our equipment, and it's just simply not cheap. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, these videos cost a considerable amount of money to publish, and right now the only way that we fund that is through sales on our website. So if you need a refill of Saphir shoe polish, you need to stock up on some ties because you're able to go out and have dinner now, or you need some florist fragrances, make sure you wander on down to KirbyAllison.com. One of the things that we're doing right now, just to celebrate on this live stream, is that we're offering free domestic shipping on any order with 2 or more pairs of shoelaces. So if you need to stock up, please do that. Just go to Netflix. Well, If you know anyone at Netflix, let me know, because there are some pretty hard bastards to get in touch with. So the problem with Netflix and all these other streaming services is you need someone to really help plug you in there. You need an agent or some other network. I mean, they all have these massive gates now because they just don't want unsolicited pitches. I guess they receive too many. So there we go. So get more of the long length ties. I bought all the ones from you that you offer and love them all. Well, thanks, Barrett, and we will do that for you. Could you film a video on where you iron your shirts? I send a lot of my shirts off to Ray Fabricare. That's another person we'd love to go visit. I don't launder at home because with 3 kids and a wife, I just don't have time for that. But we have certainly thought of about filming that series. Hawk, please, reach out to your friend and reach out to your buddy. Who makes our braces? They're really nice. Well, it's kind of an open secret, to be honest, that Albert Thurston makes our braces, simply because they're really the only brace manufacturer left in the world. I mean, there might be 2 or 3 people in the world that make braces. So we have them make braces for us to our standards. We use our cloths. We use some of theirs also. That pair right there is made out of ancient matter. Again, I don't know anyone that's offering ancient matter braces, but we've got a small selection here on the channel. Well, Jacob, if there's people at Netflix that are a fan of my channel, have them reach out to me. I'm not that hard of a person to get in touch with. We'd love to have them down here, welcome them into our studio, and talk at great lengths about all of our ideas of what to film. I mean, again, I said that I could film for years on all the things out there on quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. There's just no one that's done it. And not doing it in a pretentious way. It's really more about discovering the craft and the human story about behind these incredibly passionate artisans that are making today items the same way that they've been made for decades or for centuries in a very traditional handmade way. And that, to me, I find is very compelling. Yep, SSD, we just added belts. And this has been a long time in the making. We've kind of dabbled in belts, but we have finally launched our collection of belts. These are made in Italy exclusively for us. We've got some alligator ones, crocodile, we've got some crocodile belts, some calfskin belts, an edited selection right now. Now the big difference that we made with our belts this time around is they're all sized. So none of this cut to size nonsense. I mean, that's great, but honestly it's just impossible for us to manage as an online retailer, cut to length. And so we've got the belts on there with the braces, and there you go. What an excellent cigar. I mean, this is really warming up quite nicely. Have you ever checked out the tailors in Polanco in Mexico City? Actually, I was just down there. We haven't filmed anything with them, but there's a lot of rich tailoring tradition in Mexico City, that's for sure. Bourdain had a Master Craftsman mini-series very briefly towards the end of his life. I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen it. Haven't seen many videos on shirts, Turnbull and Astor, Ascot Chain, and others. There haven't been. We'd certainly love to film more. We've got some work with Will Whiting, who's exceptionally talented. I think maybe the hesitance, if you will, or the reticence of some of these shirt makers is that they're made in factories. Just because shirts are made with machines, that's the best way to make a shirt. Now, Will Whiting, of course, takes that to another level with the incorporation of some of the handwork in his shirts. But, I don't know, we just have not been invited into those factories yet. So we, of course, if we can get back to London, are actively pitching. We had an entire series of videos lined up for whenever we got there. But, again, our trip was booked right there, basically in what ended up being the last week of their travel restrictions. I thought it was going to be open up, but it wasn't. A video on the history of gentlemen's clubs would be fun. The only challenge there is that they absolutely will not let us in. I mean, you can't even pull your cell phone out of your pocket at a proper club in London, and they absolutely under no circumstances would allow us to take cameras in. but that wouldn't necessarily prevent us from taking cameras out front, I suppose, or at least doing something out, in the studio. There's actually a really good book you can get on Amazon called The Gentlemen's Clubs of London that actually walks through and kind of profiles all of them. We'd love to do some videos on Japanese shoemakers. Yohei Fukuda is supposed to send us some shoes to review on this channel. I need to follow back up with him and see where things are going. We'd love to do a series on fabric. I'm working with my friend at Dormé to see about putting something like that together. We'd love to visit the fabric mills. Again, the problem we run into is that we basically pay for all these videos out of our marketing budget, and there's just a limit to what we can do. And a lot of these companies just don't have budgets for marketing and won't even help cover travel expenses. We do charge for some of our videos, but it's really more to just help us cover our travel expenses on getting there and kind of editing these videos. And again, a lot of these heritage companies, just struggle to make ends meet just because of the nature of their business and their cost structures. So it's just very difficult. An interview with Mark Cho, that would be interesting. We should consider that. 7-fold ties I find a little superfluous. They're really expensive because of the amount of silk that's in there. It's really more of an embellishment more than anything else. I don't think it makes a better tie. It just makes something that you can kind of show off and say, wow, look at all this silk that's in this tie. That's why all of our ties are 3-fold, and there we go. Wet shaving cream or soap that you would recommend? Well, we have, of course, a huge selection of Taylor Bond Street on our website, and we've got a very edited selection of wet shaving. But wet shaving, I think, is one of, again, those things that whenever I discovered how to do it properly changed my life. And we actually have a video on how to wet shave. Why don't you have Super Chat? That is another great question. We're going to enable that for the next live stream. Have you ever thought about a series on doing a budget wardrobe? I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of the stuff you can get from Davidge.com is pretty budget. I mean, it's still not cheap, but as far as value is concerned, it's as good as it gets. We've got Ollie from London. Thank you for joining us, especially at this hour of the night. I mean, it's pushing 2 a.m. there. She was pushing 3 a.m. What kind of lighter are we using? This is a vintage Dunhill. I've done the cedar thing. Generally, I'm too impatient for that. Jose was just in Mexico a few months ago. Went there to Mexico City with my wife, who is from Mexico City. Favorite stores in Mexico City? I don't know. It's hard to say. My favorite store in Mexico City is La Casa del Habano right there in Polanco. The last time I was there, I loaded up on some great cigars. So there we go. Did you see that? I think I got that one there. So what else? Let's keep it going. It's 7 o'clock. We're pushing an hour. I've got a lot of time left right here. I pulled out an important one for you, but I'm happy to just stay put, answer your questions. We've got 200 people watching. Let's get some thumbs up. I've only got 153 thumbs up. So if you're watching right now, I think if you're on your phone, it's a little difficult to find that thumbs up thing. But otherwise, I'd love to see that. Just got back from work at Uline. Although not in black tie, celebrated today with an ancient matter tie from your collection. Amongst my favorite. Congratulations for me and the team. So thank you so much. That really means a lot. I mean, again, you all support this channel. There is no question about that. Just sending videos into an empty vacuum with no feedback, with no interaction, I just couldn't do it, to be quite honest. And one of the other things that has really been a silver lining, really an unexpected surprise of the YouTube channel, has been how much closer it's allowed me to become with all of the viewers, all of our customers, how it's allowed me to interact with all of you, especially through these live streams. So we are going to be doing these more, especially now that we're in the new office. Bard, I think there's a bespoke tailor in Seattle called, what's his name? Let me see. What's his name? Can't find it right now. Do you think you'll ever try to design your own suits? Might be possible. Espresso Machine is going to be relocating to the warehouse as soon as all this sheetrock done is out of here, or the sheetrock dust is out of here. What was the value for money clothing shop you said earlier? I couldn't understand the pronunciation. It is, and I will type this for you, it's Davidge.com. He made this smoking jacket for me, which I have to say looks pretty smart. No credit to me, of course. It just goes to show you how a good piece of clothing can make all of us look better. And I'll take all the help I can get, to be completely honest. Beautiful little bow tie. This is actually a bow tie from Bud Shirt Makers, another one of our friends with whom we filmed some great content. We have, of course, our own sovereign grade collection of bow ties that you can check out on the website. But since this is a special occasion, I thought I would wear this to kind of invoke memories of being in London. Signet rings, Rob, that's a good question. What's our opinion on signet rings? You know, I like signet rings. I just don't know what I think about Americans wearing signet rings. I think that you need a proper purchase or a proper purpose to wear one. There's got to be a significance. You know, these people that go to vintage shops and just buy random signet rings with stones, it's just not my thing. You know, it needs a real coat of arms or a monogram or something. I think it should be either something you inherit or have made. Generally, I'm not a big fan of jewelry for men. I think that a nice wedding band, some cufflinks, maybe a pocket watch, is really as far as you can push the boundary whenever it comes to classic menswear. Can I do a video on how to tie a bow tie? We have that video, and I will post the link on the chat. Of course, wrist watches qualify as jewelry. So John's got an interesting question here. Dominic Casey and Daniel Wiegand both have different approaches to last making and shoemaking, for that matter. If you were to buy your first pair of bespoke shoes, which approach fits you best? Well, it's kind of like asking someone. I mean, it's a little difficult of a question for me to answer because they're both friends. Let's be honest. Daniel Wiegand, Dominic Casey are dear friends of mine. It's like asking me which is my favorite son, you know, Nathaniel or Nicholas. It's really impossible to say. I think that you couldn't go wrong with either of them. It really just is a function of, one, who can you go see, right? And two, which right now, let's be honest, is difficult. The answer is practically no one. Well, you know, Nicholas Fawkes, I mean, he's a special bird there, Nick. He's a good friend also. We need to, I mean, his, you know, Fawkes and Sons series on cigar smoking is one of my regular subscriptions that I watch whenever it comes out. We're going to film with him whenever we get back to London. We're all going to get together and smoke a cigar. And of course, I mean, that man, you know, he pulls off jewelry like it's no one's business. And I think that, you know, again, not many other people could pull it off like Nick does. It's just a part of his brand. And so if that's your thing, do it. But I think that it's really important to not seem costumey with your wardrobe. Don't be that guy that is just like a peacock, you know, standing out there all by himself, looking funny. And you see some guys that take it to just, you know, obscene levels, right? And I think that's great if they're into that. Look, I'm not judging anyone, but generally I would aspire against that, or I would advise against that. In an interview with Simon Crompton, we've done that. We filmed an interview with him years ago, last time we were in London. It was a shoe shine Sunday video, and we did that with Simon. We'd love to do another one. Simon has really kind of taken off. Check out recent history of jewelry YouTube video. I don't know what that channel is. Send me a link, Andrew. So is an 18-karat Rolex too much? Absolutely not. I think that is a brilliant exception I would absolutely one day buy a solid gold Rolex. I just feel like that is a, you know, I can't say it on this channel, but big swinging, you know what, kind of watch. Whenever you wear that watch into a room, you know, it is a statement that, you know, you have arrived and you're someone to be reckoned with. So I think it's beautifully elegant. Well, I've got a Rolex from my grandfather, but it's not solid gold. I mean, it's not the Presidente. I mean, I think the Presidente watch from Rolex is a holy grail watch. That and a Patek 5050J, which is a perpetual calendar watch. So Space Race, I don't know if you're kidding about the J.C. Penney piece, but I would absolutely totally consider it. I think that if you took classic menswear principles into J.C. Penney, you could actually totally walk out with something that looks great. Funny story about that, I'm going to tell it without revealing any identities. But a good friend of mine and mentor was down here in Dallas a while back. And, you know, this is right when all those scooters kind of first hit Dallas. And we had an important meeting that we were going to, just topping this off a little bit, important meeting that we were going to. In New York the next day. And it was just a 2-night trip, so this particular gentleman, I don't think, packed an extra pair of trousers. I mean, a few shirts and ties and a jacket, and you can stretch that all week. And we were on the Katy Trail here in Dallas, riding our scooters, you know, really, you know, kind of gallivanting along on our way to dinner. And the Katy Trail is really quite crowded, and there was some nice young lady that was walking her golden retriever on her leash, and my friend's, you know, just booking along, getting a little bold. He was out off in front of me, maxing that scooter off, and this lady's golden retriever ran across the trail and basically clotheslined him with the leash. I mean, it was like slow motion. You know, he, you know, wrecked, flew over the handlebars, rolled. I mean, I think he lost his, what did he lose? He his watch fell off, he lost something, you know, and basically road rashed his trousers. He tore holes in his trousers, he was bleeding, he was beat up, tore holes in his shoes. I mean, it really was terrible. I'm thankful that he didn't like break his hip, because he had just had a hip operation. I was like, you know, I'm going to call his wife and tell him that he, you know, severed his hip off. And so, you know, we had basically a few hours to find him another pair of pants before we had to go to New York that next day. So we went to J.C. Penney, and he bought, well, we went to Dillard's, details. But we went to Dillard's, J.C. Penney. I mean, I don't know, two of the same, you let me know. I don't shop there, so I can't really speak the difference. But he was able to find a nice pair of trousers that he bought large and threw some braces into, and it was perfect. So, you know, you can do it. I don't know, clothesline makes sense if you grew up with brothers. We did that all the time to each other. You should purchase and review a Daniel Marshall humidor. I don't know it, but we'll write that down. Love the channel, especially the cigar content. Thank you. Have you ever met someone from the royal family? So, interesting story. I guess 1 degree removed. Does that count? We were in Mystique, the island off of St. Vincent, and Pippa Middleton and her entire family was there. We kind of met them and hung out for a little bit, so I don't know if that counts, but otherwise not. I had tea in St. James Palace, not with Prince Charles, but with the sub-dean of the Chapel Royal, where I'm a member. But it was in his house, and that was another pinnacle moment. We watched, you know, what are the guards that march out every Sunday? You know, they march out of St. James Palace all the way down to Buckingham Palace. And what is that called? The Lifeguard in Coldstream. Favorite restaurant in the United States? You know, one of my favorite restaurants ever is Pujol in Mexico City. That is an incredible restaurant. One of my favorite restaurants, haven't eaten that in ages, is Le Grenouille, which is called The Frog. It's right off 5th Avenue a few blocks south of Central Park South. That is a favorite restaurant. Queen's Guard. Is it the Queen's Guard? Changing of the Guard, yep. Javier's in Dallas is definitely a favorite of mine. And one of the few places in Dallas that you can eat food and smoke a cigar. You know, favorite fashion icons. You know, I kind of lean towards some of the more slightly modern fashion icons of kind of post-World War II. You know, the Cary Grants. You know, those are... Ralph Lauren is certainly a fashion icon. So, am I a fashion consultant for any professional teams in Dallas, Texas? No, Bart, but I would consider it if anybody was offering. Pujol's Mole is top quality. Pujol's Mole, I think, is one of the most poetic ends to a meal I've ever seen. You know, Pujol is strictly a tasting menu. It is one of the top 10 restaurants in the world. And you go through this absolutely incredible tasting menu. And we've been to Quintanil in Mexico too, Mexico City. I prefer Pujol because I feel like it's a much more pure expression of the Mexican cuisine and flavors, right? It isn't, although it is very much haute cuisine, it's not unapproachable and it's not too far disconnected from Mexico City street food. So, you know, you've got this entire meal and it basically culminates in a plate of mole that is basically a new mole, and in the middle is a dollop of like 1,200-day-old aged mole. It's basically mole that has been cooking for that long, and it's just like a sourdough starter where you just add to it and it keeps on going, and next thing you know you end up with like a 100-year-old sourdough starter. And they just serve it with tortillas. And that's it. That is the grand finale of that meal. I think it's very, very poetic, and I think it is such a fitting in to a meal like that that's really meant to celebrate Mexican cuisine, which is really, I think, a great genre of food. It's not Tex-Mex at all. I mean, people that live in Texas and think Mexican food, Tex-Mex, it has nothing to do with what you would eat actually in Mexico. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the blue corn tortilla is amazing. And the one that's got the leaf on the other side of it, I mean, again, it's just unbelievable. I could go back and just do that. Favorite restaurant in New York City, I think Le Granule. I like, you know, what is the one, what is it, Ciccione's, right? Am I saying that correctly? The one that is related to Harry's Bar, right? I really enjoy that place. So what else, gentlemen? I've got more cigar here. We're, of course, celebrating 200,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel right now. If you're watching and are not a subscriber, hit that red subscribe button. Do me the honor. Help us get up there. We really would love to hit, I guess our next milestone will be 250,000 subscribers, and then we're well on our way to 500,000. Of course, you can never have too many. Subscribers are like so many things in life. The more, the better. So... Caesar, any codes for the Kirby Allison shop right now? Well, we are running a promotion that with any 2 pairs of shoelaces, you can receive free shipping on an entire order. It's just during this live stream. We'll probably leave it up through the night because, you know, we would prefer to have you watch this versus go shop right now. But whenever we're done, by all means, of course, we need your support. Summer is a retail kind of desert, if you will. We just moved into this new warehouse. I feel like I'm hemorrhaging cash right now. It's just the nature of summer. But check out our shoelaces. We just added 2 new colors, a light brown and a medium brown. So now we have 4 primary colors of our laces: black, dark brown, medium brown, and light brown. I can't believe it took me this long to add them. I was lacing up my, gosh, what was it? It was my bespoke George Cleverly Russian reindeer shoes. And I put those dark brown laces on there, and I was like, this is too dark. And I realized, well, why don't I have these other colors? You know, we buy our shoelaces from the oldest supplier of shoelaces to the Northampton shoe trade. You know, working with this guy is like, you know, I might as well be faxing him to submit my orders. It's impossible. And so it was that hard to get them to send us laces. the best dressed male actor in everyday life right now would be probably Paul Feig. Am I saying that right? Anyone? He is on Instagram, and he's a big friend of The Rake. He is a huge proponent of Bespoke in London. What movies did he do? Does anyone know who I'm talking about? I'm terrible. My memory is terrible. How do you deal with the summer heat when wearing a suit? We just filmed a video on summer weight trousers, and really it all comes down to the proper weight of fabric, the proper weave, and we just filmed some things. I also this summer added some bespoke, essentially tailored trousers to my wardrobe that I have gotten a ton. No, he's not from Hannibal. Paul, let me pull it up. I'm terrible with names. Yeah. Paul Feig. I don't know if you can get this. Can we get this in Cam B? It's 2's over. Let me see if I can change it so it's not so dark. Yeah. Anyway, Paul Feig, P-A-U-L-F-E-I-G. I think he's probably the best dressed. The director, yes, but he's also acted in several movies. What did he do? My memory's so terrible. What's the significance of the cannon in the brand logo? Given your affinity for London, you're not an Arsenal fan, are you? I'm not a big sports fan in general. I'll get to Tom Ford in a second. There's no question that I'm an Anglophile. And the Duke of Wellington was the founding member of my club in London, the Carlton Club. He, of course, was a fashion icon. He invented the Wellington boot, which was iconic. And he defeated Napoleon in the Battle of Waterloo. And I'm a big history buff. I enjoy that sorts of thing. So we really wanted to kind of draw inspiration on that with the cannon logo. It also kind of signifies the fact that Kirby Allison is not a dandy brand. Like, we're not dandies that prance around in fancy, bright clothing just for the sake of dressing up. I think that the ethos of our brand is a serious gentleman that is dressing up as part of his, part of his uniform as he goes out in the world, does work, good work, and is about, really classic and conservative values. And so that's kind of where all that goes back to. No pity, Womo here, yeah. We've all heard the term peacocking and everything. I'm just not into that. No timepiece with my outfit because it's black tie, and time doesn't matter whenever you're dressed in black tie. It is actually against the rule. We've got a great video on the rules of black tie. The rules exist for a reason because every rule you follow just makes you look better. Every rule you break makes you look not as good. Those rules have developed over time because they are absolute and true. They're truism. They're absolute truths, if you will. Proper black tie outfit, done properly is really the best a man can look, maybe second only to white tie. Traditionally speaking, you would never wear a timepiece with black tie. It just would be improper and rude. So pull that video up real quick just so that everyone can see it. Pull it back to not full screen so they can see the title also. Let's see. There you go. So that's the video right there. I don't know how many views it has. I wish I could look right now. But that is a great view, a great video to watch. Yeah, it's one of our more popular videos for sure. We're also going to film a video now that I've got this beautiful smoking jacket on alternatives to black tie, or alternatives to black tie dinner jackets. And so watch out for that. White tie for 500,000 subscribers. How about this, Archie? I'll match you in raise. How about white tie in Monaco for 500,000 subscribers? You get me to 500,000 subscribers, we will fly to Monaco. We'll stay at the hotel. What is the hotel there? The De Paris. And we'll dress up in white tie and do it proper. So, Kevin, I have to say, you ask a good question. Kevin's question is, Um, who do you recommend in Manhattan area for tailoring? I think Manhattan, of course, here in America, still has the best options for tailoring anywhere. And I have to say, now that you've got Huntsman and Sons there with Ralph Fitzgerald, I think he's one of the most talented tailors in America right now. He is absolutely exceptional. They travel extensively here in the United States. So if you don't go to New York, they might come to your city or come to a city closer to you than New York. You've got Leonard Longsdale. He does an excellent job. Also, you've got Eric Jensen, who we've filmed with. You've got Alan Flesser, now being run by Jonathan Sigmund. That is another great shop. It's more made to measure or custom, if you will, in kind of the American sense. They do an exceptional job, and you can check out all these people on our YouTube channel. I mean, maybe you don't know who it is you want to visit, who's right for you. We've got extensive videos with most of these tailors, of course Lynn being the one exception, that can help you understand kind of who they are, what they're about, maybe their price points, and decide who it is you want to go see. So, what are your top really guilty pleasure video subscriptions? Ooh, that's another interesting question. Cipriani's, yes, Cipriani's was the one I was trying to remember, which is right there located, catty corner from the Plaza Hotel, and they have a fettuccine, they've got a baked fettuccine that's one of my favorite dishes. I've not been to the Union Club in Boston, but I have been to the Union Club in New York. Thank you, Tom. So back to Michael's question, Doug Morano, I follow him. Of course, he does all of the car reviews. I enjoy that. Who else do I follow on YouTube? I'd have to look. If he says Cardi B, I'm out. Yeah, don't follow Cardi B, that's for sure. So Caden is saying that he's not a fancy dresser but love the videos. Keep being great, Kirby. Thank you. But I don't think you have to be a fancy dresser to dress well, right? I mean, you could wear nothing but grays or navies and just dress better. I mean, I think, and we filmed these videos about the fundamentals of building a classic wardrobe, building a classic wardrobe, starting with the fundamentals. And I think with, a few pieces and white shirts, I mean, you could have only white shirts in your wardrobe, and that's all you wear, and you could be the best dressed man in the room. I mean, a black pair of Capto Oxfords, a nice gray suit, maybe one or two odd jackets that you wear with the same gray trousers, a white shirt and some ties, and I mean, you really don't need much more than that unless you want to take it to the next level. But I'd say that you can do that and look absolutely incredible. So you don't have to be fancy to dress well. What color socks should you wear with khakis and medium brown shoes? So, it's a good question. I would pick something that contrasts a little bit, maybe a taupe or a green, maybe a brown that is differentiated. What you don't want, because khakis are quite casual, you wouldn't want to match your socks to the trousers. And you would want to make sure that your socks don't clash with the shoes. They've got to be a different enough color that they stand out and don't blend in with the shoes. East India Club, it's not an unfortunate name, to be completely honest. The East India Club was originally a club of a lot of the the merchants that were traveling to India. The East India Company. They were merchants, and they had the concession from the government for everything from India. So there's honestly a lot of exceptional tradition with the club like that. Bespoke, great suggestion. Michael, I just finished my law degree with honors. Congratulations. What would you recommend as a fantastic cigar to celebrate and wear in London to enjoy it best? Well, this is an easy question to answer. I would walk on over to Davidoff of London, say hello to Eddie or Edward Sahakian or any of the other team that's working there. Say hello for me because it's been so long since I've been there. And have them help advise you on a good cigar. I would go for, I think, one of my favorite cigars, which is a simple long stell. That is a double Corona, nice long celebratory smoke. You could go for any number of cigars that they offer there. It's impossible for them to steer you wrong. And then where to smoke, we have an entire video on cigar lounges in London. So you could smoke it there in Davidoff of London, which I kind of call the most exclusive place to smoke a cigar in all of London because there's only 2 chairs. You could film it there. You could go across the street to the Stratford Hotel. They've got a beautiful courtyard to smoke in. You could go to a whole number of places that we recommend in the video. Yeah, the Stafford Hotel, it's right across the street. There's a little alleyway. It's kind of it actually opens up into their stables, or what used to be historically their stables. And they've got a nice bar. It's the American Bar right there that you can enjoy a cigar outside and in good company. It's relatively private, very quiet. That's one of my favorite places to smoke if I'm smoking outside. There's not that there's not a huge number of places to smoke inside, but there you go. Formal tour of the vault at Davidoff's. Well, we did film a video where they basically brought out all of their, I don't know, what would you call them, their collector humidors. I mean, these are some of the most important, yeah, it's his Edwards Private Reserve. And that's a great video because there's some stuff there that's amazing. Caviar and cigar pairing advice, Kirby, you can't go wrong. Patros and caviar, I mean, shoot, that and some champagne, you've got dinner. Do you find that Southern culture has tried to downplay dressing down to a joke almost? I don't know if I would make such a generalized comment. I think really most Southern gentlemen dress up quite a bit. Well, Baja, I'm not going to get into the details of I guess, imperialism, but you know, of course, pretty much all of history is pretty dirty. So there you go. And Michael Dunn. Michael Dunn's been kicked out of the room. Adios, sayonara. So let's see. What else? What else we got here? We got 197 subscribers. We're rounding the 90-minute mark. I like linen shirts and some well-made sandals. Yep. Let's see. So what else do we have here? Anything else you'd like to see me talk about? I'm going to take this band off. This is such an excellent cigar. I really need to just enjoy this in my own private company. You know, Barrett, I don't fly business class yet just because those tickets are really expensive. I'd rather always spend that money on food or just more travel. But a lot of these airlines have a premium economy section that I like to call middle class. And that is generally only a few $100 extra versus economy. And if I am flying into London, I'm normally in American's premium economy section. So Mr. Beer, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, asked a good question. What main sartorial trends would you like to see young people adopting more? How about just simply dressing up and wearing, I mean, let's just take it easy, right? Okay. I'd like to see, first and foremost, more men just wearing jackets, right? Let's not even talk about ties, right? Just simply throwing on a jacket over a pair of jeans, right, or a pair of trousers, instantly makes you look more elegant, and you can do it. We've got a navy hopsack jacket that I was wearing today that's a very versatile and piece that can be dressed up or dressed down. It's a great jacket for travel, exceptional jacket for travel. So I'd say first and foremost, I would like to see people just simply throw on a jacket, right? I mean, let's not even talk about the tie yet because that's too much for some people. Wear a nice pair of dress shoes, right? The other thing that I would like to see more people doing, let's say if you're already dressing quite formally, is braces with a high-waisted pair of trousers. I mean, that's another game changer. Once you see what a pair of trousers feel like that are cut properly, generously across the waist so that you're not having to cinch it down with the belt, and you throw a pair of braces on, that's one of the most comfortable things ever. We have an entire video on this. We sell braces, of course, here at Kirby Allison. One of the other things that I'd like to see people embrace more are pleats. Single pleats, I think, is one of the most elegant ways to wear trousers. A pet peeve of mine, quite honestly, are flat-fronted trousers. I just think that it's not elegant across that midsection. Dustin, tips for picking a versatile odd jacket is really, I think, visual texture is the most important thing. On an odd jacket, in my opinion, you want something that has sufficient visual texture. I'm going to save this band. And that, I think, first and foremost is important. Now, so Space Race is saying, being a generously endowed gentleman, he loves to use braces. For heavier gentlemen, I mean, I don't know how they do it with just simple trousers with belts. I mean, that's got to be so uncomfortable. Braces are the way to go in high-waisted trousers. Yep, I mean, that's wisdom right there. What is the painting in the background? This is not an original. This is a picture of the Duke of Wellington from the Battle of Waterloo right there. So pan my head down, see if you can get that a little bit more. We had it framed here in Dallas by a good friend of mine that's a framer. I think the frame costs more than the painting. It's a reproduction, but there we go. Trevor, unfortunately, we don't have anything planned right now for the UK. We really hope to get over there sometime in October. Yep, let's see. What else? Gentlemen, I think it's maybe about time to start wrapping this up. Of course, here we are celebrating 200,000 subscribers here on KirbyAllison.com. Let's just pull up the YouTube landing page right now if we can. See if you can pull up the front splash. Not right there because you're in the editor. I don't know if it's possible to pull up like an incognito tab or something. There you go, KirbyAllison.com, 200,000 subscribers. I think we're now up to, what, 217,000? What's the exact count? You guys can read that off to me. Nobody? Production room's silent. Let's see, I'll check myself. Exact number of YouTube subscribers. We're going to exit the live stream right there. We've got 180 watching. 200, it says 218,000. I wonder if I could actually see what the precise number is. 218,000. Let's see what it actually is. How do I go to the studio dashboard? 218,362 subscribers. So, gentlemen, give me a few more if you haven't subscribed to this channel. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all of your support of this YouTube channel. Of course, thank you for your support of KirbyAllison.com. It is how we support this YouTube channel, and we appreciate you, really going on this journey with me as we explore the world of quality craftsmanship and tradition. This has been a banner evening. I wish we could do this in person, but this is the next best thing. I'm enjoying this Edmundo Dante limited edition 109 cigar, some Blanton's whiskey or bourbon right here. And I'm enjoying the new office, the new set. If you're just now tuning in, this will be archived to YouTube. You can watch the entire thing. Otherwise, make sure you check out all of our videos, like, subscribe, share. visit KirbyAllison.com. Otherwise, we will be doing this again soon. Hope everyone's enjoying your summer. God bless, and thank you all for watching.